I am a servant leader of the gospel, husband and father. Everything else just falls where it may. I am not a title person. We are so glad to see all of you here with Breakfast of Champions on this morning, afternoon, wherever you're watching in the world. We are here today. We're going to talk about today continuous learning, and that encompasses every area of life. Now, for those of you that are able to that are logged on, go ahead and type in the chat what it is that you are currently um, learning. What is it that you're desiring to learn? Because it doesn't matter what stage you're in, you're learning. You're there's something else to learn. The Bible says, when a man thinks he knows something, he knows nothing. So in other words, we can never think that, oh, I've mastered this or I've mastered that. That's not true. You may be very good at it. You may be excellent, but mastering it, that means you would be done. That means that there's nothing else for you to learn, and that's not the way that life works. Life is this wonderful, continual, thing, and it never stops, and we just continue working our way forward, working our way through. I see some in the chat already, and that's what we want to see, because I want to talk about. I mean, we could easily just pick any area of life, but I would like to address the things that you are focused on learning so that we can address those things specifically. I never want to, I don't really, I don't want you to feel like you're in a lecture, okay? Because I'm not a college professor. So I like a talk back, people conversation, even though you may not be on the microphone. If I can see your chat, I can talk to you from the things that concern you. So those of you that are logged in, go ahead and pop in the chat what it is that you're learning. It doesn't matter what area of life it is. It doesn't matter if it's home, work. It doesn't matter. Career, dating, parenting, doesn't matter. Pop it in there, because continual learning, we could pick a specific thing, but we can do that, in the next conversation about continuous learning. Today, I want to break the ice and find out what it is that you are learning. What are you trying to learn? What are you desiring to learn? There's so many things that are on my list to learn, and I don't want to. I never wake up a day in my life and to tell you something, guys. I have um, when I was when I was when I got married. I had these boxes and boxes of trophies and medals from sports and talent shows and all these different things. And I had, like, there was nowhere for me to put them. And so I'm not one of those type of people that like to hang on to things. We whatever we call them, sentimental values, or I earned this or whatever. I'm not that one. My I had to, I just threw them away. I mean, where was I going to keep all those? I had boxes, and there was no way that I had room, or where was I going to keep them? And yeah, they would have been cute, I think, but maybe cute to show my kids, but I didn't feel the need to keep them at the time. And so I'm just that type of person where, when it, like right now, it's spring, right? I'm a true spring cleaner. I mean, stuff just started disappearing around the house because I feel like if we haven't used it, it doesn't have a place. So it's either going up for a sale or it's going to be given away. And my degrees, my plaques, my honors, all those things, they're not even on my wall, guys. They're in my drawer. My, all my degrees, all my certificates, all my licenses, whatever. It's not plastered around my house, for me to. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have that up because you earned it. It's a wonderful thing. It's just I'm just not a person who I don't have to show off anything. I'm that's just not me. I just maybe one day I'll put them up, but right now they're just, I mean, all my things from school or state licenses and all those things, they're just in a drawer. I mean, that's just, I don't feel like I have to, plaster things like that around. I never been a show off. And I'm not hiding them. They just, I'm just not a title person. So um, when we look at, learning things, and my point in that is no matter what things that we have done, we're still learning. And when we don't think that we're still learning, then that's when we're in trouble. Let me go to this one says, I'm learning to have patience while I'm growing. So, when we have, if we ask, God for patience, he's not like God is he's not gonna uh, touch you and make you have patience. Like, he's not going to zap patience into you. And y'all let me know if you can hear me right now, because something just flashed up on my screen about the internet. So if you're not having a problem hearing me, let me know. Pop that in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me good. Um, so okay, awesome. So patience, God is not going to zap you and make you have patience. God is going to allow life to let you have moments and opportunities where you can learn. And so, like, sometimes, when you're driving in traffic, you can be really impatient if you're running late, or if you're just a person that you just like to go, go, go and get there. There are people that get in traffic and they drive and you think they're actually going to put out a fire, and they're not going anywhere. They pop in front of you and then turn when they could have just waited behind you and turn. And they'll speed up as though that's their only opportunity to turn and almost cause you to rear end them. Maybe they want a new car, or maybe they're just bad drivers. The one thing that I do know about driving is that when you get in a car, your real personality and character comes out. It does. And so, when you're out there in traffic, you have to, that opportunity for you to have patience with those other drivers that are, however they're moving in and out about in traffic. You have an opportunity to either be restless, you have an opportunity to be impatient still, or you have an opportunity to say, you know what, let me slow this down. I got time. I'm on time. I'm not running late for work or wherever I'm going. I'm headed to the mall. It's not like I'm on a timer, so God will continually give you opportunities uh to grow in patience. Your kid, no one can test your patience like your kids. No one. Your coworkers ain't got nothing on your children or on your spouse. No one can test your patience or whatever part of your life like your core family, your immediate family that you live with. No one can test you like that. And so your kids are always going to be an opportunity for you to grow in patience. They don't have any patience. They want you to be patient with them, but they ask you for something and they want it in 2 seconds. And so your kids are going to give you a great opportunity to practice patience so that you'll know, because you won't be getting irritated with them. You won't be getting agitated. You won't be getting bothered and all those different things. You'll know, and you'll know when those coworkers are doing what they're doing. They're not, some of us, we have a go button, boom, and it's like on. And I know I'm that way, but I'm I'm I have a lot of patience. But when you're doing something and you're at work and this is supposed to be going this way, and people are not moving, like, I'm not talking about like hustling, like physically running around. I'm talking about doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing. That's going to be opportunity for you to grow in patience, because everybody doesn't move the same way. Some people, they have one speed. Some people can vary in how they move and do things. They can do it accordingly. And some people are on a 100 all the time. And if you have a get it done, go mentality, everybody else around you seems like they're moving in slow motion. That can test your patience because you're thinking everybody, if we all run this the same way, then we're going to complete this mission. We're going to do it faster. It's going to be done. And you just have a go and finish mentality. And so God is going to allow you to always have those opportunities, because here's the thing about opportunities in life and you trying to grow. Just like you had to pass the test, the past first grade to go to second grade and so on and so on. And if you couldn't pass those tests and you couldn't pass and prove that you know that work, then you had to stay in first grade. And so, in other words, God will allow you to take the same test over and over until you pass. So, if you find yourself still being impatient, that means you're not passing the test. That means you're not allowing the patience, the choice, the decision of patience to set in and rest upon you and realize, wait a minute, everything I do, it doesn't have to be at my pace, my rate of doing, or my speed or my thought process. And you have the opportunity to be able to learn how to tolerate more, to be more relaxed. Not that you have to not do things the way that you like to do it when it's just you doing that particular thing, but when you're having to do it and you're having to do it with or around other people, you'll have opportunity to learn all the time how to just, okay, I have to work with them. We have to work with. I can't just do it at my pace, nor can I expect them to do it at my pace. And you'll notice that you're learning how to blend and work with people. Just like when we go in traffic, if we're trying to get out of a event that's very tight, you notice we have to blend. We have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You let this one in, you let this one in, you let this one in, I'll let this one in. And we have to work our way through that so that we can get out of that huge parking lot with all those thousands of cars, get back on the highway safely, and get back home. We have to do that by patience. We can't barrel through the parking lot, pushing cars out the way. They're not going to open up like the Red Sea and let us through. So every time you do something, when you go to the mall, you're going to have to be patient in finding a park. If you blaze through that parking lot, you're going to catch somebody backing out and they're going to back into your car. So everything that we do in life is going to give us an opportunity, especially from home, to be able to show and prove that we have patience. Okay. So that's how you'll know you won't be agitated and you'll be able to work with people. I'm learning how to parent a little girl because girls and boys are definitely different. Girls don't have a lot of patience. You guys came here, it's in your DNA. You came here with a go button. You came here planning. You came here facilitating. When you're little bitty girls, you plan, you set up tea parties, you set up picnics, you set up play dates, you start planning your wedding when you're 8 years old. All these things, you're like planning. You girls come here with a go button. That's why you get so frustrated with men, because men don't come here like we're not on 100 all the time. Ladies are always on 100. And so that starts when you're little. You come out the womb like that. You come out, those pretty eyes wide open, and you're like, boom, what we doing? Little girls wake up in the morning. Mom, what we doing? Where we going? What you want to go somewhere? You want to be somewhere? What's the next project? What we doing tomorrow? Okay, well, what's next after that? It goes on, and men be like, what? And we just like stuck because we like, wait a minute. I feel like in order to have girls, man, you need to be born wealthy. You need to be wealthy before they're born, because girls always got a list. They always got it's a list of I want and a list of to do. And if you can't keep up with that list, They're gonna remind you all the time. When we gonna be able to do it? Did you forget? When I thought we were gonna do this. The list never stops. Wives with husbands. What is the goal? What are we doing this month? Where we going? What trip we going on? When we going on vacation? What we doing with this house? What we doing with this yard? What we doing with that fence? What we doing with that car? It just goes on. What is do everything, everything. It's like your minds are just on because you're facilitators. That's why you're good managers. That's why you're good supervisors. That's because you're very detailed and you plan. You like to map it out. That's in your DNA, guys. It's in your DNA. The only thing that will get in the way of that is if someone messes with your emotions, and if no one bothers you, messes with you, messes, brings no trauma in your life, any of those things, then like you're like that all the time. The only way that you're not like that if someone, your parents are faulty, um, someone brings trouble or drama into your life that knocks you off course. If that's not the case, man, you're on it. You're on it. And even through adversity, you're still, a lot of you, most of you are still on it. And it's, you're ready to go. And you just need people around you that are ready to move like that. And a lot of times men are not ready to move like that because, well, we have to be, and unfortunately, a lot of us don't come here on go. We need to be taught, a lot of things because boys, we are born, the difference in the boys and girls is that we have a lot of foolery in our heads. We're not planning far ahead. Not many of us. I would say it's a small percentage of us that plan ahead. Like, and when I say plan, I mean like we know how to plan for stuff that we want if it's in our mind to do something. But like when it comes to seeing the bigger picture, like we can plan, and like say if we wanted to a business, or we wanted to yeah, we men are risk takers. And then women don't like that because you like security, you like risk, but you want it to be a guaranteed risk. Does that make sense? So men, we can see the canvas empty and we're good with that. The lady wants to know, or the female mind wants to know what's going to be on there. And so the man is like thinking, we're going to create it as we go. That doesn't work for you. That's not a lot of ladies that are, and what's the word we call spontaneous? A lot of ladies are not trying to live spontaneous. Ladies want to plan it out. They want it mapped out. They want it mapped out. And you want to know what's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if G don't if G don't work, what's the plan after that? And so men are like, no, we got plan A. And that's what we need to be focused on. And so, and so women, that frustrates women because women want to know what's the backup in case that don't work. Where is the safety net? That's what you're asking. And, and men be like, oh, it'll be all right. So we can see the building, and we're like, okay, we're going to build this, this apartment complex or whatever, right? Man can see the vision, he knows how he wants it to look, but it's the woman that has the details. We need to do this, it needs to have this, because men, we're not thinking about no crown molding and the certain type of, the certain type of designs and things that make it all elegant. We're not seeing all that. We we're not seeing all that. We're seeing the whole bigger picture. And ladies, you're seeing the fine print. You're seeing those details that make it what it need to be. And that's why, it takes us working together to make that thing right. We balance it. We bring the puzzle together. If we work together, you have something that I don't. I have something that you don't. And men have this thing to whereby we don't get afraid of the risk or the challenge. we will take it head on. And most, if a man is not that way, it's probably because he was raised to do everything methodically, or maybe that's his personality, or his father or his parents taught him to do everything methodically, and he doesn't know how to work outside of that. But most men know how to work with the plan and outside of the plan. If we need to adjust things, ladies don't too much like that. You like to, if it goes outside of the plan, you don't really like that. That doesn't make you feel secure and comfortable. Um, in that thing. So boys and girls, totally different. Girls are 20 years ahead of boys in maturity. And so when we're parenting girls, we have to understand that engine runs different. And we have to be very wise when it comes to girls. Boys, we have to be focused on greater discipline, helping them to understand accountability. So that learning aspect is, you can't raise girls and boys the exact same way. Yes, do we all live by the same rules in life? Yes. But the teaching aspect of how you shape our understanding and help us to be molded into this society to be productive in our respective roles. Because my daughter does not need to think that she needs to be able to do everything that my son can do. My son does not think that he needs to be able to do the way society is trying to deceive, the way that the enemy is deceiving people in society right now, having people mixed up all different kind of ways as though that we all can do the same thing. That's not true. There's a power that I pack that you don't pack. You can't, I can't, you can't, you should not be standing in a ring with me. I don't care how many martial arts classes you've taken, how many jujitsu, I don't care if you're a Navy SEAL or whatever, you don't have the strength that a man has. We should not be competing in the same ring with one another, in the same sports or any of those things. We have a strength that you don't have. And one blow from a man can crush a woman. One. So there's certain things that we should never be in the same arenas with. When it comes to our brains and just doing things, that's a different story. But when we're talking about physical things, my daughter asked me, she's 13, my youngest, and she was asking me, we were riding by and they're still building houses in the neighborhood or whatever. And the thought just popped in her head, that I never see women construction workers. And I didn't really respond to what she was saying with, I just went like, hmm, because I just didn't go off into the subject of, well, well, women, don't normally work construction or whatever for whatever reason. I didn't go off into that. I just, left it like it was. I don't really remember what response I gave to that, but I just didn't go off into a big, thing about men and women and all that type of stuff. But I know there are a few women that work construction. There's some women that work construction businesses with their husbands. There are a few women that work in construction, in whatever city they're in. It's not a lot. It's a male dominated thing. And as the woman may be on more of the side of, after that's done, and she's more in charge of the managing of the situation, or the way that the building is, the defined points of the building, that what makes it what it is, beautified. And so there's just some things that, I mean, I know I wouldn't want my daughter working construction, or my wife. I mean, there's some things that it's kind of like men opening a door. It's just some things that we don't want our women doing. I mean, we want you to be doing things that ladies should be doing. I don't want you getting out there banging hammers and shooting nail guns and on top of buildings. That's not me. I wouldn't want, as a man, I wouldn't want to see you doing that. And that's not from a chauvinistic point of view. I don't want you getting hurt. I don't want you having to do that kind of work. So that, I think that there are some things that in our DNA we're built to do certain things. And so raising boys and girls, It's two different worlds. Boys, we stupid, we foolish. We jump off of houses, we break our legs jumping out of trees, and we do anything. Hey, let's go do something stupid. Okay, boys, we try anything. And so, girls, you just have to be very wise and you have to be very strong because girls have a lot of questions. Let's see, patience, being a good listener. Yeah. I mean, I've been married 30 years. Well, this month, guys, next week. Next week will be our 30th wedding anniversary. So, by the grace of God, God is good. Patience and being a good listener. I would say that I'm a good listener, but I still sometimes, if my wife is trying to tell me something, whatever it is, I'm maybe trying to just keep up, and I may interject a question. Now, to her, I'm interrupting her. So I'm still learning when to interject and when to just, because I'm trying to follow. And men, we're different when it comes to telling us something. You have to tell the man what it is first. So, like, if you have to say what happened first. The dog, jumped over the moon, whatever. You have to tell what the end thing is first. Then tell us the details. You can't start at zero and save the end, for the end of the story. Men can't follow like that. Our brains don't work like that. You have to tell me what happened and then tell me how it got to that point. Okay, ladies, that's a fine point to know for when you're talking to men. Otherwise, you're going to be asking us, what did I say? And we're not going to know what you said because we don't follow that way. You got to tell us this happened. Oh, and this how we got to that. All right. Men, we don't know all the details. We don't say all the details when we're telling the story. So in order to be a good listener, we got to just, know how to follow. Sometimes it's not for me to respond. Sometimes it's just for me to make sure that I'm paying attention, I'm tuned in, I am empathetic to what it is that you're saying. I'm with you. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I can understand that. And so we're just responding to let you know that we're tuned in and we're following. But it helps if you're talking to a man, let me know what we're talking about. Tell me what actually happened. And then if it's men, we need to be better at, making sure that we're explaining the details because ladies like details. And when we don't say things in detail, like when we come home, you can ask us about our day and we're going to say, oh, that was a good day. To us, that means we didn't die. We didn't have to have no brawl with nobody. Nothing really, nothing bad happened or whatever. So, and even if it did, if we fixed it, we feel like, okay, yeah, it's a good day. Well, that's not how it works in the mind of a woman. A woman is going to tell you everything that happened that day. She's going to tell you what everybody said, what they did, what she did, how she moved. What you got the a lady's going to give you the whole story. And men, we have to be patient enough to sit there and listen. Now, if you're a man and you're not just good at just sitting there listening, oh, well, go get some lotion and rub her feet while she's talking to you. Stop sitting there looking like you don't know what's going on. Rub her feet. And while she's talking, you'll be relaxing her. And by the time she get through talking, she feels so relaxed. Hey man, you got brownie points. Okay, be attentive. You got to be tuned in. You can't be flipping the remote control and not paying attention to what she's saying. You got to be paying attention. You got to be on point. Okay, so you need to stop being stupid, sitting there trying to look and peek at the game. You can watch LeBron them in a minute. LeBron is not the one who keep you warm at night. LeBron is not the one who cooking your dinner. So if you better turn that TV, you better turn your back to that TV. While that lady while your wife telling you her story, you better get some lotion and rub her feet You better relax her mind, help her relax while she just, next thing you know, she over there taking a power nap. Y'all don't hear me. You better tell them, lady. Tolerance of unacceptable things I may experience with others. For example, sarcasm, loud talking at me, faithful but faithless, non-committal, but say they believe in me or something. Okay, so tolerance, that's something like we have to choose when we should be tolerant, and we have to, most times we need to choose to be tolerant because that's how we're going to be able to get along, with people. It doesn't mean that I have to stay in your face or let you disrespect me to tolerate you. The tolerance is just me not going off on you, or me not getting back at you with my words, or me not punching you in the face because you're being smart or whatever, you trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. You trying to throw these sarcastic comments at me, or you trying to test me. So I gotta have tolerance, but I can set you straight without lowering myself to your level. I just need to come back with a good question, or whatever. I can say that I don't have to curse you out. I don't have to crinkle my face, mean mug you, or none of that. But you're not gonna sit there and throw sarcasm at me. You're not gonna loud talk me. And you're not gonna be playing with my emotions. And so I have to learn to be tolerant to the point that I don't go off, or I don't come out of character and do something that's going to cause even a bigger scene, or cause us to physically combat one another. Or I'm not going to sit up here and be on somebody's video with me going off on you, whether we at work or at a gathering or wherever we are. But I'm going to have to turn down that lion in me that is an alpha, and just understand that, what, you trying to test me. Why do you want to take me there? You trying to take me somewhere that, you don't need to be trying to take me. I'm not trying to show you that. So you need to back up. If whatever you're saying, whatever you're doing, I'm either going to need to just politely, if I can say it to you, if I'm in a distance, to say it to you without it being broadcast in the room or whatever. I'm going to step to you, and I need to speak my mind and let you know that I don't appreciate your sarcasm, your disrespect, your ignorance, your play of words to try to insult me, or to try to draw me out. And if I need to, I'm going to have to just, move away from you, so that does not remain a problem. But I cannot walk up to you and put my hands on you, or nor do I need to go off on you to prove that I can get back with you, because I can, but I don't need to prove that. So we're continually learning in every aspect of our lives. We're going to be tested every day. At some point, we all have an opportunity to be impatient with this, or to be intolerant with that, or to be angry or upset or agitated. And if we feel those type of things, that means that we're learning in that area. We need to learn, and we're going to have that same test over and over. That it might not be the same person, but it's going to be the same things, and you're going to have those opportunities over and over until you pass. When you pass, then the next time you see it, it's not a test anymore. Now you know what to do. Now you know how to hold your peace. Now you know how to tolerate that. Now you know how to be patient and be like, okay, let's do this. What we need to do. You'll learn how to be direct, and how to deal with the situation without you coming out of character. That's how you know you're learning. Because if you're impatient, or if you're being intolerant, or whatever it is that you're trying to learn, you're going to respond in a certain way. Your voice is gonna be different, your body language, your eyes, everything is gonna be in a different way. And that it is exuding whether or not you're upset, whether you're angry, whether you're agitated, bitter, whatever, it's gonna show or do, "Oh, okay, oh, they're staying composed. Oh, whatever I was doing, it's not agitating them." you know, so you learn and it shows because your everything changes, your body language, everything, the way you move in that situation changes, and that's how that you're growing and that you're learning how and you're learning how to overcome whatever that obstacle is in that particular area. Says um God will put you in situations that will teach you about patience. Well, he gives you the opportunity, and so it's up to you to learn the lesson. And so you choose how long you want to go around that mountain, because you're going to go around it until you choose to pass it, until you choose to have uh, that that patience, that tolerance, that composure. Like Abraham, God will provide the sacrifice, and so God will allow, you have some, that was a tough test. I mean, we talking about, God asking you to do a hard thing. God, most of the time, he doesn't ask you to do something that's easy, because that doesn't require any growth. Now, it's even hard for some people to, like, this guy was going to give his only son that was promised to him, to through whom that all of us, are the generations of. We are the descendants of Abraham. And so if we God is asking him to do this hard thing and kill this promise. Not that God wanted to kill the promise, he was allowing Abraham to see what he was made of. God already knew what his heart was made of, what his character, what he would and would not do. He already knew that. But Abraham needed to know what his limits were, what he was willing to do for the glory of God. He needed to know that. And you and I needed to see his story. And so God will always provide a way. He just wants us to know who we are, that we can stand no matter what. Because the fact of the matter is, when Jesus was talking to the different scribes and Pharisees, which are the spiritual leaders, that would be what we would call today in our time, that would be the people that we call that went to seminary, who are, and also lawyers and doctors and people with divinity and theology degrees. They would be what we know today as college professors and things of that nature with PhDs. They weren't willing to continue learning. And so that's why they thought they knew everything. That's why they were arrogant. And that's why when they saw God in the flesh standing in front of them, they couldn't recognize him, even though they were told how he would come. They were told, but they didn't understand it because they're too busy, excuse me, they're too busy proving how smart they were. And so they couldn't learn because they thought they knew everything. And so therefore, that stunted them from being able to see the glory of God right in front of them. They saw miracles, but they denied it. They rejected it. They saw people raised, healed, and unclean spirits cast out. Saw people healed of all kind of sickness and diseases, paralyzed, all different things. They saw him make them whole, but all they could think about was their knowledge, their theology, and they couldn't see God, and he was standing right in front of them. And so when you refuse to keep learning, you'll miss the things that you're destined to do. You'll miss God. You'll miss purpose. You'll miss the assignments that you're supposed to carry out because you think you're smart. And have you ever noticed that people who think they're smart don't really believe God? When you find a person that says, I'm an atheist or I'm whatever they are, that does not believe the Bible in its completion, that's because they think they're smart. They think that God has not proven himself. And that's not true. Everything around you reveals God's glory. You don't even have to go past the mirror. All you have to do is look in the mirror. You can't explain that, how you have two eyes and everything is in place and all of these things work and all these things in your body, and we create another, and another human comes from us and it continues, life goes on. You can't argue. A fool says in his heart that there's no God. And so if we think that we're not learning anything, then we are in trouble. That means that we think we got this thing all locked down and nobody can teach me anything. My kids, I can learn from my kids. I can learn from my spouse. I can learn from the dog. There's nothing in this life that we can't continually learn from, because everything in this life has an intelligent design, and that design is the Lord our God. And everything has a specific purpose. So whatever it is that you're focused on learning right now, you may be trying to, like, some of you didn't pop something in the chat. If you didn't pop something in the chat, pop in there what you're trying to learn. There's no better or bad thing. What are you trying to learn? Are you trying to, now for those of you that that are here that have licenses, we have continual education that we have to do either every year or every 2 years, or however it's spaced out from the state for you. We have to continually, so it's like college is never open. Leading with efficiency. In order for us to lead with efficiency, we have to also be led. Leaders are also following. So if I'm following an efficient leader, then I'm learning how to be an efficient leader. And also I'm learning from that leader's imperfections as well as their excellency. So in other words, no one person has it all. We are all a continual process. We're all a work in progress. We're all continually growing. No person can ever say, I have reached the pinnacle. That's a lie, dude. No one. We don't have that. We don't have perfection until we get to heaven. So no one person can say, I've reached the pinnacle. There's nowhere else for me to go. That's not true. And so you have to understand that if you're following a leader, that leader, they're not truly a leader if they're not giving you everything that they know. So it's like when you teach your kids, you're their leader. If you're not giving them all the wisdom that you have, now it's not up to you whether or not, you can't control whether or not they're grasping or whether they're listening. Now, kids can play back whatever they want to play back that you said. They can hear everything you say. They have to choose whether or not they listen and actually take that wisdom in and obey that. And if they do that and apply it to life, then they'll be much greater than you, because the seed is always greater than the tree, because that seed is going to produce much more than what you put in the ground. It's going to produce a whole tree, which is going to make all these other seeds to continue producing that tree. And so if you're following a leader, that leader should be pouring everything into you that they have. They should be withholding nothing. Why would I be leading you and I hold back? Jesus didn't hold back anything from the disciples. He showed them how to do the miracles. He showed them how to talk to the demons. He showed them how to talk to sick body. He showed them everything to do to be able to do what he did. Every miracle that he did, we are also capable of doing. Every one of us who follow him, he said, these signs shall follow them that believe. Not if you're a preacher, not if you're a prophet or evangelist or apostle, them that believe. That's everyone. And so he gave us everything. So he gave us his spirit to live in him, which is him living in us. We just have to believe that. So a true leader does not withhold from those that he's teaching or she is teaching. And so it's up to the student to make sure that they're paying attention and that they're receiving it. It's up to the student to ask questions when they don't know. The disciples were sitting there, instead of asking Jesus, they're sitting there asking each other, as though you can't ask him whatever you want to ask. Why are you not asking the teacher? So if you're following someone, you need to ask a lot of questions. If you're leading someone, you need to also ask them questions, because you need to know what they understand. It's like when we're here, like if we're talking and we're having these conversations, I don't know what you understand if you don't say it or if you don't pop it in the chat. When you pop it in the chat, then that allows me to know either you have a question or your comment lets me know that you understand or that you agree with that, or you disagree. I need you to elaborate more. I see it this way, whatever it is. When you pop it in that chat or you come off that mic and you're talking about it, that's how we know that what you understand. We don't show up in these rooms or wherever we go, conferences, worship, work, wherever we're having discussions. We don't go there to leave the same way. We go there to be better, to be stronger, to be wiser. And so you have to ask questions. So if you want to lead with efficiency, you got to be following with efficiency. And then you got to then turn and teach that to the people who are leading you. Because if you don't want your leader to withhold anything from you, don't withhold anything from the people that are following you. You got to give them. Jesus gave us everything. Everything. And so withholding nothing. And so we have to do that same thing. He said, freely it was given to you, freely give. Sometimes you have these different people and places and things, and they're charging you thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars for a ticket or whatever. Isn't that the same thing that I should be getting if I'm under you in ministry? Like when you're preaching or teaching, whatever, if it's a class or whether it's just regular, whatever it is, you should be pouring everything into your people. Everything. Whatever you can do, they should be able to do. And I'm talking about in the spiritual aspect as of that. There's nothing that you're supposed to be able to. I mean, your kids are supposed to be greater than you. If the mom and the dad, if you pour in all the wisdom that you have from life, all the experiences, all the things that you've learned, then your kid should be 3 times better than you, because they have what they have what the mom has, they have what the dad have. They have both your wisdom, and they have everything that God gave them. They should be 3 times better than you. Every generation should be better than the one before. Everyone. Let's see, that's a good road for disaster. Knowledge is key. Yeah, knowledge is powerful, and wisdom is just knowledge applied. Wisdom is just me knowing how to apply the knowledge that I've learned. And that's what makes knowledge powerful, because if I don't know, how can I do it? If I'm not learning constantly, if I don't read my Bible every day, I don't care how many times I think that I've read the Bible in completion. I mean, every time I read it, I get new understanding, new revelation, I mean, it's like always new. It's always new, because no one can comprehend the mind of God. We are learning. No one can say that, oh, fully know my spouse. Not if they're continually growing. If they're continually growing, you're continually learning. If you're continually growing, they're continually learning. Your kids are continually growing, you're continually learning about them. So there should never be a point where you feel like, well, there's nothing else for me to learn. That's when you think that you know something, and that makes you foolish if you think you know something. Better way of communicating with someone who is becoming a significant other. This is very helpful. So when we're communicating with someone and we want to build a relationship with them, we need to ask questions. Like, the way that you communicate is how you learn, based upon your personality, your life events, how your parents raised you, how you saw them communicate, how your parents communicate with you, your perception from what you saw in your household, the way your parents communicated. Um, all those things are the result of how you act right now. Whatever things you grew up with and experience dealt with, that's the result of why you think the way you do. That's why you're so this way, or you're so that way, or you're so straightforward. That's why, because that's what your personality, that's what you perceived, and it molded you. So that person that you want to grow into a relationship with, okay, what characteristics are we looking at? What are the characteristics that we've learned about this person? And what questions have I asked? Did I ask them, am I asking them the right questions to find out why do you communicate the way you do? I mean, I feel like that, when we're talking, I feel like that you're always holding back. It's like, I can tell you want to say something, but you're it's like you're changing it, and then you're saying it the way that you think I want to hear it. So you need to ask that person, whatever communication style that they're doing, if you don't understand it, or if you feel like that there's something that you need to do better. Maybe you're not saying what you want to say. Maybe you're dressing it up or changing it, trying to adjust it. Whatever the situation is, in order for us to, when we're having a conversation with somebody that we're in relationship with, we should be totally free. If I can't say whatever I want to say, then that's a problem. If you can't say whatever you want to say, that's a problem. The whole thing about me knowing that I'm with someone that I'm supposed to be with is we have no problem communicating. We should be able to talk for hours. It should be just because we're being our authentic selves. That's what makes conversation real. That's what makes conversation and communication work, because we're being authentic. I'm not changing for you. I'm not saying something because I think that's what you want me to say. What I'm saying is what I really feel. That's what I really think. That's so if there's a problem with me and I don't want to say something, then I need to deal with that situation, because I'm making it hard for you, because, oh, well, my daddy, that's the way he talked, or that's the way he did things. He was very quiet. Okay. I can't understand. I can't read your mind. I can't read your heart. I need you to say what's in your heart. And so if we're not communicating in a proper flow, meaning that I don't really understand what you're saying, or I feel like the way you're talking, the way you communicate is like, it's iffy. I don't really know. I don't understand you, or you come off the wrong way, or whatever it is. And so we have to ask what we want to know. And so if I have a problem with the way you communicate, the way you talk to me, I need to just tell you, hey, when we're talking, I feel like that, I feel like you're talking at me and not to me. Or I feel like that you're going around, and it's like you want to say something else. And I feel like that you're, not being, like totally honest, with me, because you may be thinking that I want to hear it a certain way. And I want to know the real you. I don't want you giving me some picture. I want to know what it is that you really think, because that's the only way that we're really having real communication, authentic communication. So communication has to be a honest reciprocation of listening and speaking to communicate what is actually your honest answer, your honest opinion, your honest thought. And if we're doing that, that's how I get to know how your mind is working and whether or not I want to continue having a conversation with you. Because I don't want to build a relationship based on false uh, things that you've said, and then we get deep off into the relationship, and I find out that that's you don't really want to talk to me. I don't want. Who wants a spouse? Who wants to walk around the house with a spouse who doesn't know how to communicate? That makes a horrible household. We need to, our communication is the key to our relationship. And if we can't do that effectively, you can't say what you want to say honestly, and I can't say what I want to say honestly. We don't really have a relationship. All we're doing is tolerating each other, and we will become roommates instead of soulmates. And we have one more thing, the importance of emotional intelligence. Everybody doesn't have the same level of emotional intelligence. And all of those things come from, everybody doesn't have the same level of wisdom. Everybody doesn't have this wonderful thing that people say, well, that's common sense. Well, if common sense were common, we wouldn't be having the conversation. Common sense is not common. Everybody doesn't have that level of intelligence and where they can understand the emotional intelligence and how they should use that. Emotional intelligence is me knowing how to use my emotions the right way. And I know how to interact with you, and I know how to control my emotions or place them on a level to where they're properly being used and properly being presented. And I can also have the level of understanding to receive what it is and to how to deal with what you're saying to me. I have the emotional intelligence to understand what it is that you're saying. And that gives me the foundation that I need to be able to understand and interpret what's going on and whether or not I like that or whether or not that's something that's a challenge for me, you know? And so I need to know, what my emotional intelligence level is because I can't blame you because I don't understand you, but just because I'm not there. And there are some people when you're talking about emotional intelligence, if we bring it to a level of relationship, you know that everybody's not the same. Some people are calloused. Their hearts are calloused based on what relationships they've experienced. Some people have turned their hearts cold. Some people don't know how to express themselves. Some people think that they can be quiet and just do nice things or be whatever, and they think that you know how they feel. Well, that emotional intelligence is telling you that they think that you don't need to hear what's in their heart. But my emotional intelligence, I need to be able to properly articulate what's going on inside of me without making everything that we do some type of now turning it into some emotional battle instead of us knowing emotionally how to carry and handle ourselves so that we can communicate properly and understand each other very clearly with no you're not sitting here saying what did he say, what did she mean when she said, just ask me. If you don't know, if you didn't understand what I was saying, just ask me, Harlan, what did you mean by when you said such and such and such, or what did you mean when you said that you don't know if you want to be married, or if you don't know how you would function as a husband. So if when somebody says something to you, just ask. So we have to understand that we are continually learning in every aspect of life. As we continue these conversations, I challenge you to think about the things that you are not only learning, as some stated today. Yeah, never assume. We already know what that means. It makes a out of you and me. And so don't ever assume, ask, get clarity. And if you assume, most of the times you're going to probably be wrong, because you're probably thinking about it from an aspect of your own, self, and you're thinking, and you'll probably think about it in a negative way instead of, you know, um, asking. Just ask the question. And that was one of the things when Jesus was talking, with the disciples. He would say, "Why are y'all reasoning among yourselves?" Basically, he's just saying, just ask what you want to know. Stop sitting over there trying to figure out something that you don't know. Obviously, you don't know. And I'm standing right here. Just ask me the question. And so it doesn't matter if it's your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your kids, your coworker, it doesn't matter. If you don't understand what a person just said, can you elaborate on that, please? What did you mean when you said, what does that mean? Make sure you get clarity, because if you don't get clarity, that's how we have misunderstandings. And that's how we end up with hurt feelings, and that tells us the level of our emotional intelligence. If we're always getting offended, if we're always getting upset, we're always, yes, ask clarifying questions. Don't just let things just go and you didn't really understand. And then you asking everybody else in the room, what did they say? What did she say to me? What did he say? What did he mean? Ask that person what they said. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what. Will you elaborate on what you just said? And if it's a spouse or a girlfriend or boyfriend, I'm sorry, I heard you say, let me see if I got this right. You said that you don't feel like you can commit, in a relationship right now, because you saw what your mother and your father went through. Is that what I heard you say? Do you need them to elaborate, because you're trying to find out, are we actually growing in this relationship? Are you stringing me along, but you're telling me right now you don't want to commit? So if I'm looking for commitment, why would I continue in a relationship with you? That wouldn't make sense. You can't communicate without a connection. I mean, you're communicating to get the connection. And if our communication is faulty, then we're not building a connection. If I don't feel relaxed in my authentic self when I'm talking to you, then we don't really have a connection. So it's like it should be like an easy thing, for us to talk. And even if that conversation leads us to the point that, hey, you know what? We're not matched for each other. This is where I want, and this is what you want. How can two walk together except they agree? And so even if our conversation leads us to the point that we know that we need to go our separate ways, it was nice meeting you. I enjoyed the few conversations we had, but they also let me know that we are not on the same page. We can part ways peacefully. We don't have to be mad to break up with someone. You just trying to get a clear understanding. You're just trying to get a clear understanding so that you can make a clear decision. As we go forward in the days to come, whenever you have questions, guys, pop them in these chats, wherever you are. If you're in a room, whatever rooms you're in, don't ever be afraid to ask a question. Don't ever be afraid to express and get clarity on what you need to know at home, at work, at play, whatever you're doing. And one thing about all of you that are here, you show up because you're learning. You're continually learning. You wouldn't be here. There's no way that you would be in this room every day, or most days, if you weren't trying to go somewhere. You want a better life. You want to maximize your life. That's why you're here. That's why we wake up in the morning early to do this. It's because we're trying to do everything that we're born to do. We're trying to maximize purpose, plan, and destiny. And we want to have our best lives. And so the only way you do that is you've got to ask questions. You've got to get clarity. You've got to get understanding. You have to get that wisdom. And so you keep pushing for that, but you only get that. You can't wait for other people to ask you a question. You need to ask your question. Don't worry about other people. Don't no, that doesn't mean that it doesn't make you look like you're not smart. Smart people ask questions. Great leaders ask great questions. Great students ask great questions. If we don't ask, we don't know. All right? I hope that you have got something out of this today that gives you some courage to be able to just ask what you want to know without hesitation, and that it gives you some boldness, some boldness in your life, because you have to be. If you're hungry, you'll eat. If you just sit there with your mouth closed, you won't be able to eat. You won't get fed. You won't get your answers. And so I hope that this conversation today has emboldened you. And I thank God for you being here, Lord. We thank you. We love you. If there's no comments, I'll pause a second. If someone has a comment open on the mic, if not, then I'll close this out.
Good morning, Harlan.
Morning.
I'll make it real quick because I am working and trying to multitask at the same time.
You better multitask.
Yes, sir. So I'm just learning how to be patient. I put in the chat, I'm learning to be patient while I grow. My patience have in the past, it's been real, real short with work and home life, everyday life, this traffic, everything. So I'm learning this, just shut up, Ladriva. I'm talking to myself. I'm telling myself to shut up and just let go and let God, let him be in control of all things that I'm trying to be in a hurry, trying to put a rush on things. But I noticed yesterday when I'm trying to rush something that happened last week, God is already working behind the scenes. And I thank God, give him all the glory because I know what he's doing for me in my life. So I'm just giving God the praise right now because something's going to come a pass that I've been praying about, but I was putting my hand on it. I was putting my hand on it, not being patient. So now, as I sit back, he said, you know what? I got you. Then leave me alone. So he told me to shut up and have patience. So that's all I want to say.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
That's awesome because God is like, he's like, yeah, I got you. But that's because, like we were saying earlier, ladies, and you just have that go button and you just want things to move. You like to get it done. And it's hard for you when people around you don't move that way because you're thinking to you it's like they're wasting time. And you just want to finish it, this is done and you're on and then on to the next, thing. And so we definitely understand. Some of us have that go button and that's all we know. We just know finish, get it done. And it's hard for us to see people, seem like that they're not moving with, systematically, and just, working with the flow and getting it done. And that's why it affects us no matter where we are, whether traffic or at home or work, whatever. If we say we're gonna do it, go people just like we want to get it done. No messing around, no lollygagging. That doesn't mean we can't have fun, but we like to see the thing moving forward in a good way. And God is always like, there's certain things that we're supposed to do. We work like it all depends on us, but we trust God knowing it all depends on him. And we just have to know when to, like you said, we have to know when to, it's not for my hand to be in at this particular time and place, because God will, like, if you put your hand in it, like you were talking about, God will say, oh, you want to do it? If you put your hand in there, God will be like, well, okay, well, you think you can do it. But he wants us to put our hands in his hands, but just know that it's his hands that are leading our hands, if that makes sense. Does anybody else have a comment before we close? Comment, question, or feedback? In 3, 2.
Paula.
I hear something.
Good morning. This is Felicia. I hope I don't sound, I want to say the right word, too hostile, but I'm learning to be patient as well, and also to be a good listener and to have a better understanding. But I'm going through things like I talk soft, but I try to talk where people can understand me. But I
Mhm,
have a problem when I'm having a conversation with my supervisor or
mhm.
a family member, and I'm talking in this tone now, and they say what, you know, that irritates me. So when I feel as though you're saying what, I'm gonna take it up a notch. I'm gonna talk louder like this. So, I mean, am I wrong for doing that? I don't know. Am I too offensive, or I just have a problem with that? So it's like, am I not intelligent enough, or you can't comprehend what I'm saying, or what's the
Okay.
problem?
Okay.
So,
So,
can you elaborate on that? I
so
need help in that area, and I'm being serious.
okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the movie Police Academy Part 1?
I believe so. Yes.
Do you remember the brown lady, the black lady that was the police officer? She was really so sweet, very soft
That
spoken.
little squeaky voice.
Yes.
Yes.
And so you notice that every time she was talking, you notice they'd be like saying, "What? What? What?" And
But it's
so
a difference on how they said it, though. This is like what? I mean, it's a
yeah,
difference on how you say words. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
right. So you said you're soft spoken, right?
Somewhat, but I'm saying I'm talking enough where you can hear me, unless you don't have a hearing problem. You don't have
Okay.
a problem hearing me, right?
Okay. And so what I would ask, specifically if I'm having a conversation with my supervisor, I would ask why they said that to make sure that I understand why they said that. Are you telling me that I'm not speaking loud enough, or are you saying that I'm not speaking to you as though I'm confident about what I'm saying? I would get clarity on why they're saying, because that the way that they're saying what may it could mean what you think it means, that they're being sarcastic, or it could be that they're saying, can you say that louder, or can you say that with more definition or confidence or with more conviction. I would ask them if I'm having a private conversation. Sometimes when I'm explaining something to you, you'll say like, "What?" and I don't know what that means. Uh, or yeah, they could be being condescending or sarcastic, but you want to ask them in private, what is it that they mean? And so that way you have the information that you need to make whatever, if there's a necessary adjustment, as in, are they, because sometimes a person can ask you that, like when your kids could be talking to you, they talk loud all the time, but when you ask them a question, why do you seem so soft now, like I can't hear you? And so are they asking you to be more convicting with what you're saying, or are they being sarcastic or condescending? So I would ask that privately, to whomever that was. If it's my supervisor, I would ask them privately why they say that when I'm talking, so that I can get clarity. And then that way I know, oh, he or she is saying that I need you to speak with more authority or conviction, so that, I make sure that I hear clearly what you're saying. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And also, the family member that I'm speaking on, she
Hmm.
does that to everybody. And I know
Okay.
this person is,
Oh,
she's
well,
very smart and intelligent, but it makes
ah,
me feel bad. It's like, okay, so am I not speaking well enough to you, or I'm not coming across? That offends me. And I said it's going to be here soon. I'm afraid about it. We're going to have this conversation privately because
uh-huh.
that bothers me.
Well, and it's not something that, it has to be a hard thing. Like you said, when you see that person, just say, hey, can I need to ask you a question.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we're having a conversation, you'll do things like, and you'll say, and you'll do, and I don't, and to me, it feels like I don't know if you're trying to be sarcastic. Are you trying to be condescending or insult me? What's going on? And
Okay.
you just ask them point blank. Like whenever something like that happens, don't let those things linger. Like, just, if you're talking to that person privately, go ahead and ask them what they mean and why they're doing that, because you don't need that on your mind. Go ahead and get that question answered, and that way you have the information that you need to make whatever decision you need to make with in relations to that person, because the cousin could
Okay.
be trying to be sarcastic and condescending or facetious. And then the supervisor could have a different reason. So I would ask them, I wouldn't wait about it. It's not something you have to pray about. You just need to go ask them.
Well, I'm gonna pray about it because I want to have a good attitude when I do talk to them.
I got you. You want to hold your composure, and
Yeah.
just, it doesn't matter what they say. It gives you the information that you need, and that means that you know where to put them in relations to you. You understand the level where they are and how you need to deal with it. Because people that think they're somebody or think that they're whatever, if they think they're better than you or smarter than you, they're
Yeah.
going to think that means that they have that faulty mentality, and it doesn't matter what you say, they're still going to be that person until they decide to change. But it does show you
Mhm.
the information that you need to know, okay, this is how I need to deal with this person.
Okay. That makes sense, and I thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Was there
Thank
anyone
you.
else? You're welcome. Did anyone else have a question or comment or feedback before we pray it out? In 3, 2, and 1. I thank God for all of you being here, and just know that we're always learning, ever growing, always learning and trying to understand so that we can live this life and we can go through this life with our everyday relationships, and that we can move and be productive, be positive, and have great outlook on life and be able to accomplish great things. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to do the things that you have created us and called us to do. We need your wisdom and understanding in all things, in everything, all the time. There's never a moment that we don't need you. And we thank you for giving us understanding and allowing us to learn and then to apply it the right way to our lives and as we are affecting others' lives. We thank you for everything, every benefit. We thank you for your grace and mercy to do the things that we are able to do. And we thank you for allowing us to always be ever learning, but understanding and not missing the mark. We want to continually grow. And we thank you for the opportunities that you have in front of us. Teach us how to maximize the day, how to maximize the moment, and how to leave everything where it should be. We'll use the word, leave everything out there on the field, because we don't want to withhold anything. Thank you for allowing us to be great. Thank you for every gift that you've given us, and we receive everything that you want us to receive. We are your students, and we want to also be great teachers as well. We love you. We honor you. We pronounce blessings upon everyone's life. Meet everyone individually where they are. Lift them up where they belong. Every mountain that is in the way, we command it to be moved now in the name of Jesus. We thank you for moving every stumbling block out of the way, even if that's in our own minds, Lord. And we thank you for making the way clear, making the way smooth and straight, and guiding us in the purpose that you know that you created us for. We give you glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Until next time, have an awesome day. I love you, but God loves you more.